Welcome back to Design Bundle's YouTube channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Crystal. Today I'm going to show you guys how to layer different types of HTV. So today we're using Siser Easy Weed along with Siser Glitter in Black, and we're also going to use some black flock. So this stuff feels like velvet. So these are three different types, and I'm going to show you guys how to layer those. So the very first one we're going to start off with is the Siser Easy Weed. Now the t-shirt I'm using today, this is from Comfort Colors. They have a new line out that looks like this. It's super amazing. So I'll have it linked down below so you guys can find these, and you can also get them in sweatshirts. So the heat press that I'm using today is going to be my Cricut Easy Press 10 by 12. I know you guys have been requesting me to use my Cricut Easy Press for some of these projects, but you could do the same thing with your heat press. So like I said, I've got my Cricut Easy Press set at 320 degrees for 20 seconds. So let's go ahead and start out by weeding all of our materials. So I cut these out with my Cricut Explorer 3, but you could definitely do this with whatever die cut machine you have. Now, as you guys can see, we've got this one weeded out right here. So this is our Siser Easy Weed. So I've got all of this attached at one time. So it's going to be one press. So let's go ahead and weed out the next one. So let's go ahead and weed out this flock. Now with the flock, it's a thicker material. You don't even need a weeding tool. You can sit here and do all of this by hand. So you guys can see how super easy. So you guys can see as I'm weeding that away, how nice that looks. And it's, like I said, it's like velvet. It's a ton of fun. This is a great way to add some more dimension to your project. So as you guys can see here, I used all of the same color, but everything is just a different texture. So we have some that is going to be thicker, and then obviously like this glitter is going to be a little bit more rough. So I'm going to go ahead and weed this away. This is the same way as the flock. The bigger pieces, I don't even need my weeding tool. I'll be able to just kind of weed these out like so. Now the weeding tools I'm using here, these are stab and grab. So it's really nice because you're able to, you can just stab it like this and then grab it. This is one of my favorites as well. I'll try to link some down below for you guys because I know you guys always want to know about my little tools that I'm using here, and I always love to share. All right, so now that we've got all of our pieces weeded out here, as you guys can see, these are all the same color, but we are using different types of materials. Now we do a lot of videos on how to layer HTV on top of each other, but we don't really talk about which one should go first. Now these aren't gonna go on top of each other, they're actually gonna intertwine between each other, but still you need to know which one goes first if you're gonna use different types. So what I would start out with is the higher temp one first. Since these are not on top, I don't have to worry about it going last or anything like that, because glitter, you cannot layer on top of it. If it was a layer, you always want to keep this, last, right? But since it's intertwining, we can actually start with this. So what I'm actually going to do here, so I can see what I'm doing, I'm going to flip my design upside down. And then I'm going to layer these by how they're going to go. So this is going to be the third piece. So the second one is going to be my flock. I'm just going to go ahead and line those up like so. My first one is actually going to be my cute little bucket right here. So what I'm going to do is now I can flip this over and I can kind of look at this and eyeball to figure out about where I want this to be on the t-shirt. So your center is with your tag, and now what I can actually do is kind of fold this in half to kind of get an eyeball of where this needs to go and come down just a little bit like so. Kind of line everything up, get everything on my mat here, looks good. So now what I'll be able to do is leave this little pot here first, so I know that when I go to line these back on top, I'm not too high up on my t-shirt, I'm not too low, because if you just try to lay this first down without even looking at it, you're going to possibly have this too high or too low. So now we have this right on the money, we're ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and press this 320 for around 20 to 30 seconds. You want to give this some medium to firm pressure. It's going to have more. So say, for example, if you need to press it for 30 seconds, I don't have to really worry about doing that all at one time because I'm adding in layers. So it's going to have the 30 seconds essentially. So now what we can do is this is a hot peel, so I can go ahead and peel this. And now we are ready for our next layer. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and line it up once again so I can see how everything's looking. making sure I'm still centered up with everything. Everything looks good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lay down my next one, which is going to be my flock, because I need that high temp once again. So this time I'm gonna go ahead and cover this piece up again with the piece we just used, or something that's bigger to cover everything. And same thing, I'm gonna do 320 for 20 seconds. So I'm just gonna do roughly around 10 seconds or so, just enough to kind of do a tack down. Now, if I was using my heat press with more pressure, I could possibly get away with this for 2 to 5 seconds. All right, so this is once again a hot peel. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove this. And then very carefully, I'm gonna go ahead and remove this one, and it's already looking amazing between these two here. All right, so we are ready for our last layer. So I'm just gonna line everything back up, making sure I'm happy with everything. Everything still looks like it's in its correct place. So I think everything's good there. I'm gonna go ahead and smooth everything out. Now I don't have to worry about adding more pieces of, for example, my carrier sheets here from before, because since this is our last sheet, it's actually going to cover everything. So now what I can do is I can still leave it at that 320. I'm gonna cover everything and press. I'm gonna leave it at that 320 instead of bringing it down to like 315 for 20 seconds, because if I would, because I still need that heat for the glitter in the flock, okay? But this time I'm not overheating it because I didn't put down the Siser Easy Weed first, if that makes sense. So if we would have put down the Siser Easy Weed first, we would have essentially been overheating that layer. Now this is a warm peel, so we can go ahead and peel it away. And there you guys have it. How adorable did this shirt come out? Now, if we would have done this just on a basic tee, you know, that was white or black and did this in white, or just a basic color, but adding it on this garment here that has some extra, you know, movement to it, you could definitely tie-dye a t-shirt with this. There's tons of tutorials out there, and do something like this similar on your own. But as you guys can see, adding this extra texture from the t-shirt design to adding that flock and glitter, you guys can see that there. This is gonna have that velvet feel. This is gonna be that sparkly glitter, and then the black. So it's all the same color, but each one makes it a different dimension. So I really love the way this came out. This SVG, you can find it down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please hit the like button down below and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.